Marvel vs. Capcom Infinite has moved away from 3-character fights in favor of a 2-player tag anywhere, anytime system that puts an entirely new spin on your team's synergy. Now, if you'd like to see some gameplay of that, you can check out the live stream that Eric Tay and I did last week, where I swag on him just a little.
No.
But the game also introduces, or reintroduces rather, if you remember the Marvel Superheroes game from 1995, the 6 Infinity Stones in the Marvel Universe. Now, each one grants your character a move that they can perform at any time during the match, called an Infinity Surge, as well as a super powerful ability that effectively breaks the game for a while, and that's the Infinity Storm. And this leaves room for near infinite possibilities with team composition, as your 2 characters will have very different strategies depending on which Infinity Stone you pick. So if you're eager to jump in and start bodying people right away, we've got you covered. We're going to take a look at each stone, what they can do, and suggestions for characters or strategies that you should use with them. Speeding its way into the first slot on our list, the Time Stone offers your characters a quick teleport and dash ability that you can use to close the distance between you and your opponents, or create some devious mix-ups. You might want to use this stone if your character lacks mobility options, so people who can't fly, can't air dash, this might be perfect for them. Activating the Time Stone's Infinity Storm speeds you up significantly and gives your characters some nasty custom combo abilities. Basically, your moves now have 0 recovery time, and they can all link into each other, so if you ever want to do a combo with 20 hard kicks in a row, now's your chance. As long as your characters have normals that move them forward slightly, you'll be able to carry them all the way to the corner with this stone. If what you're looking for is some zoning assistance to help you out in your neutral, the Reality Stone might be for you. Using the Infinity Surge tosses out a slow-moving projectile that homes in on your opponent. It's good for creating space and can be super annoying to deal with, so giving it to characters that lack zoning abilities is a good option, or you can just use it with an already projectile-heavy character like Zero or Dormammu for added pressure. And before you snap back to reality, make sure you use the Infinity Storm, which spits out massive elemental attacks with every normal move you perform. Light Punch shoots out little bolts of energy, Light Kick freezes opponents, Hard Punch charges up a huge beam of fire, and Hard Kick summons a pillar of electricity. All the attacks are great for cover while you rush down, and they can easily catch opponents who try to run away from you while the Infinity Storm is active. Also, one thing to note is that you can only send out one elemental attack at a time, but that limitation is per character. So what you want to do is send down an attack, tag in your character, and then you can have 2 of them on screen at once, allowing you to use them for some pretty wicked combos. The Mind is a terrible thing to waste, and the Mind Stone is no different. You don't want to waste any opportunities to use the stone's Surge ability, as it'll perform a grab, which then leaves your opponent dizzy for a few seconds. And as for the Infinity Storm, the Mind Stone causes your team to constantly regain meter throughout its duration. Now this is great for all characters, but especially those with power-up hyper combos like X or Firebrand, and characters with hyper combos that persist on the screen like Dormammu and Rocket Raccoon. Just make sure to use your meter. You don't want to be at 4 bars while the Infinity Storm is still going, and then you just waste all that meter. I'm sad to report that this stone does not in fact launch an awesome 4-player 3D arena brawler at the opponent, but instead, using the Infinity Surge throws out a short-range attack that causes a wall bounce. You can use this as a combo extension or as a powerful anti-air tool, and it's a great stone to start out with while you learn how the combo system works, as the Infinity Storm doesn't actually change your play too much. Well, other than the fact that your attacks will do a ton more damage and cause gigantic wall bounces, so if you like piling the hurt onto your opponents, the Power Stone is definitely the way to go. As far as toying with your opponents go, the Space Stone has a lot to offer. Using the stone's Infinity Surge pulls the player towards you, not unlike Magneto and Storm's moves in Marvel 3. But since you can cancel the Surge with the Hyper Combo, characters with grab supers will probably benefit from the stone the most. Got a pesky Spider-Man playing keep away with you? Pull them in and smash their puny little spider bits to pieces. The stone's Infinity Storm, otherwise known as putting them in a box, traps the opponent in this little enclosure and gives them few ways to defend themselves. They can't switch characters or even move beyond the confines of the box. It effectively creates a corner for yourself, so think about using characters that can utilize some quick high-low mix-ups or characters with teleports like Dante. Or even stick with your big body team and command grab them to death. They've got nowhere to go, so let's make them comfy with a nice pile driver.
My blood's boiling! Make way for the mayor! Fighting combo KO!
And finally, to cap off this madness, we have the Soul Stone. It's not too impressive at first with an Infinity Surge that does a quick but low damaging life drain, but hold on to your butts because once you've built enough meter, it offers one of the craziest abilities ever seen in the Marvel vs. Capcom series. You know how when your character dies, they just kinda stay on the screen instead of vanishing into thin air like previous games? Well, the Infinity Storm for this puppy brings that character back to life with 15% health, and, echoing the Street Fighter Alpha dramatic battles and that one glitch from Marvel 3, allows you to control both characters on screen at the same time. If you were unsure if this game could rival the insanity of previous Marvel games, this is all the proof that you need right here. The Soul Stone opens the floodgates for an entirely new set of combos to style on someone with, and really hammers home the infinite in the game's title. Now, you don't have to wait until one of your character dies, but being able to revive them puts a lot of pressure on your opponent to think twice about when to kill you. Your movement and button inputs will be identical for both characters, so you'll probably need to spend a lot of time in training mode trying to figure out which moves to perform and when. But really, it all depends on what characters you pick. Characters with teleports, projectiles, and good rushdown abilities will do really well with this stone. Dormammu, for example, is a great partner to have with this, as he can easily charge up his powers while hyper combo is going on in the foreground, allowing you to rain hellfire afterwards. So those were all 6 of the Infinity Stones in Marvel vs. Capcom Infinite. There's also one more thing that applies to all the stones, and that's the fact that only one Infinity Storm can be active at a time, so you'll need to be smart about when you use it. For example, if your opponent has the Soul Stone and you just know that they're about to revive their second character, you can activate your own Infinity Storm to block theirs. But that's just one small part of the meta. There's still tons of tech to discover, and this video is just a primer, so get into that training room and put in some work. Now, if you have any strats or team comps that everyone should be aware of, don't save it for Evo, just put it in the comments below. And don't forget to check out the review of the game on GameSpot.com while you're at it. My name is Joey, and thanks for watching.